Welcome to the Damn Opinion Podcast. Spoiler alert. Listener discretion advised.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, indeed. It is the Damn Opinion. Thank you for listening. We are very excited because it's a very special show. First of all, I'm your host, Billy Craig. Next to me on my left, Mr. James Smith.
Aren't I Jimmy Smith since you're
Jimmy
Billy
Smith.
Craig?
Yeah, Jimmy Smith. And Marcus.
No, it's
Montgomery.
Marky. It's got to be Marky.
Marky, come on. Okay, Marky Mark Montgomery. Right. Marky Mark Montgomery. I like that.
There you go.
And isn't this interesting?
Not
we
really.
have a very special guest today. I don't even know how to deal with this.
I'm super excited.
Special is right.
Because Sin is his middle name.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Sin? Why is Sin?
That's where he's from.
Sin City, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he is our very good friend, Mr. Art Green.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's really excited to be here with three of my least attractive friends.
All right. Great. I've been wanting to use that cricket button for a long time. That's what you get. He was talking all kinds of smack before this show here. So,
well, there's got to be a reason why this isn't a YouTube channel, right? This is a podcast.
That's exactly right.
Nobody wants to look at three white, ugly men.
Yeah, exactly. And since we have Art here, that's we have some color. So because you are green, you are true. Art Green,
and you're all green with envy.
That's right, exactly. So Art has actually proposed a few of our podcast topics in the past, and he's a very good friend of ours, right? So
why? Well,
I never claimed that.
Explain that. I mean, how long have you known this guy?
I've known Art since I was in fourth grade.
Probably.
But
friends in fifth grade.
Yeah. Yeah. And
we
friends
played
in fourth
one
grade.
fly up and stuff like that in elementary school, but we didn't really hang.
Yeah. Well, I think what it was we in fourth grade, we were in a class together. And then they broke up that class and they put all the troublemakers in a different class.
How to crack open safes.
Isn't that everybody in fourth grade? You're in a class.
Yeah.
Right?
And they put all the bad kids in the other class. And so we hung out for half a year or something. And I was in the bad class. And you stayed in the good class.
Mr. Davis's class.
Yeah.
Class that was so good that he moved with us from fourth grade to fifth grade.
Right. Exactly. And I was in the bad class. And I got in trouble.
And you still are following that path in life.
Did you ever make it to the good class?
I did, because the next year I was with him in fifth grade.
Only because you hung out with him.
I guess. No, you know why? He gave me the nickname, this teacher, Captain Weird. He gave me the nickname. And so
that's a great nickname for a fifth grader.
So
in Mount Shasta.
Yeah.
So that bar is pretty fucking low.
Right.
Yeah, but this teacher was like, he had a great personality, but if you weren't listening, you had no idea. He was like total deadpan. But if you're listening, he's making you laugh all the time, and then all of a sudden you get carried away because you're only in fourth grade, and then all of a sudden you're in trouble.
And he was great, too, because he had a thing called the penalty box. And if you got in trouble, you had to pick from this penalty box. It had a skull and crossbones on it, right?
It did.
And sometimes you'd get a free pass, and everybody'd be like, yeah! I mean, everybody loved it because somebody else got in trouble, right? But you might have to do a 500-word essay or push-ups or whatever it was. I can't remember all the stuff. Read a book.
Come to my house and cook dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Give me a massage.
Tickle my feet.
Exactly. So that was always fun. It was fun when you could get in trouble and have a good sense of humor about it. So
that's true.
But you really didn't want to pick from the penalty box.
No. Because there was only one get out of jail free ticket and that whole thing. The rest of it was all boring and embarrassing because you had to pull from right in front of all of your classmates. You had to pull from that can.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. Sometimes he'd wait and say after recess he's picking, and then you'd have to sweat it out.
Oh, recess. That's perfect.
It's really tough. And so, Mark, how did you meet Art?
I don't remember. I think I met him through you.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, I went to high school. I didn't meet him until I was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, we had a class together or two, and then you picked on him.
Yeah.
That's my story. You have a total different story. But you picked on him. I'm like, why are you picking on the new kid? I didn't see him do anything. But then even though you picked on him, he still didn't have anyone else to hang out with. So he hung out with us, and now we're stuck with him.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
He had a crush on Bill is really what
I actually met Baldy first. I met Baldy first.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then Baldy brought me over to the lunch table, and that's when the whole thing
You want to know something funny? I've never said this before.
Oh, great.
Never. But I remember I started hanging out with Mark over here, and he was just really positive. He's a really fun guy and everything. And I remember going back to my buddy Mark and saying, he has no faults. He is so positive. Little did I know.
Yeah. You gotta,
my gosh.
You'll find him. Just hang.
Yeah, I beat him down a few times.
They're there.
You'll look under the cover there and see
they're
what's
there.
really there.
Mark Montgomery's superpower snowed you.
Yeah,
That's what he
totally
did.
snow job me. And really, it was up until about last 3 months that I thought he was perfect. But then I saw him naked, and that's
not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't unsee that.
And what about you, James? How did you meet Art?
I met him through you knuckleheads on Fun Night. So I've known Art 20-some years now.
What's a fun night? That's scary.
The very first one we did were you guys getting together from high school, and we did the scavenger hunt.
And how did that go for you? How did you get there, and how did you go home?
How did I get there? I got there. So the scavenger hunt, we all met and did the scavenger hunt that ended us taking us from Sacramento all the way down to Kings Canyon, and we had to do all these fun games in the middle. Mark invited me to it. He actually invited me to the one the year before that, Iron Chef.
That was a good one.
But he invited me like the day before. And I had young kids. Like, you had to give me more time than a day before I take off for the weekend. So I went.
He had young kids that he wasn't related to. Just
well,
in
I
the
had
basement.
I had young kids in a basement. Yeah. I couldn't let them by themselves for the whole weekend. Then he took me to Fun Night. I met you. I met Bill. Because I had not met Bill before that either. And then he left me at the Fun Night.
That's because you didn't show up the year before.
You left me with people. I knew Mike. That was it.
I'm just paying you back.
You left me there. Till the day I die.
I figured
you will be dead. And
you
your
were
eulogy,
safe.
I still will be throwing you under the bus.
I knew these guys, and you'd be fine.
That's true. You were with Captain Weird. It was going to be okay. It was going to be A-okay. So anyway, we have Art here as a special guest because he's given us so many of the topics, and we're hanging out with him for the weekend. And
he also forced us.
Yeah, he also forced us, and he gave us beer and said, if I buy a 6-pack, can we do this? And we said yes, except for me.
Bill's a lush.
Yeah, because I wanted root beer, and he didn't get me any. So there we are. All right, so guys, so now it's a 4-way. It's a 4-way.
That's a 4-way?
It's a 4-way.
This will be exciting, except it's a room full of dudes.
Yeah, it really is. So what are you guys into these days?
Bill's been known to dress as a lady, though.
I got pictures to prove that.
So is Mark.
Yeah. Mark, what are
I've
you
got
into?
pictures to prove that.
What am I into? Hey, guys, I was thinking the other day, and my wife was able to prove it for me, that
What is thinking?
What is the last thing you get as a human before you die?
What the last thing you get as a human before you die?
Well, it's right after you die. It's the last thing you get as a human.
A burial?
In this, yeah, that's not really. That's for everybody else. That's not for you.
Oh, like you.
Oh, do you get rigor mortis?
Rigor
What
mortis
you
of the
can't see
penis.
is Art's
Yes.
giant arm just raising up all
Yeah.
of a sudden.
You take your final poop of
No.
of your life?
It's the last gift you get right after you die, and it's actually just for you, right? But then what's funny?
An autopsy?
And it goes with you, and it goes with you almost the entire time until the burial for everybody else happens.
I don't
It's
know.
an actual toe tag.
Oh, yeah.
You brought a toe tag.
People get a
You're
toe
so
tag,
thoughtful.
and you have to attach it to your toe. And it's your name, your doctor, the hospital, the time you expired, the date you expired, and the mortician your body is going to.
Why? Okay, if this was a video, you would see that you're holding a toe tag.
An actual toe tag.
Why do you have a toe tag in your possession?
I think
right
you
now?
have 2 toe tags. Or
No,
is
no,
that just
no.
one?
One is for the personal effects that they take off your now deceased body. So
Like
they
a
can
cock
put
ring.
it on the bag. It's like your cock ring. Exactly. You don't want to lose that because your son or somebody else might want it. But the other one attaches to your toe. So they don't lose your material items along with your body.
So this is no matter what. It's in a hospital. It's in a nursing home.
Yeah.
They have a toe tag.
They all get a toe tag no matter where you are.
What if you don't have any toes? Where do they put it then?
Tongue tag. It's a tongue tag.
They don't have a bracelet or something they do nowadays? It has
You
to
would
be
think.
Use something
No,
with
it's
a
still a toe
barcode.
tag. I don't know why it's a toe tag, but it still is. In fact, it's called a toe tag
Tradition.
attached to the toe.
Did you get this from your nurse wife?
Yes, I got it from my nurse wife.
What, did she just happen to have them sitting in her pocket and was laying out on the counter?
she basically
She brought one home and said, "Hey, let me tie one on you." But I want it on your big toe.
She's like, basically for all the entertainment I get from you, we might as well just attach it to you. And so she gave me a toe tag.
I think it would have been great if he just woke up with one. What's happening right now?
So I'm not really into it, but it made me realize, hey, that's interesting. It is the last thing you get.
It's your last accessory.
Yeah, it's the last time you get a gift from somebody, I guess.
I'm just wondering if you were like, let's say, you jumped off a tall building and you were squished. Do they just attach it to the toe and then they make sure?
I don't know if
They put it in the Ziploc bag that you're in.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, there you go.
That makes sense.
That makes more sense. Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. So I always have really boring things that I'm into. I will go next.
Okay.
So are you guys familiar with the website Kid Robot by any chance?
I can't say that I am.
Yeah.
Nor can I.
Yeah. Kid Robot is actually, you guys are probably familiar with this. It's a website for designer vinyl artwork or, little statue type things, right?
I was thinking you were going to talk about pants.
I was going to go with tearaways myself.
There you go.
Tearaways. Oh, yeah, for sure. But this is not tearaways. This is actual. It's sort of like, like, for instance, you're familiar with Funko Pops, right?
No.
You're familiar with Funko Pops. What are you talking about? You guys are looking at me like you
What
don't
is
know.
a Funko Pop?
Do you get that
Are
at
you
the,
kidding
at the
me?
Love Boutique?
No, maybe if you tell me what it is, I might.
Okay, like everywhere you go, there's a little box of some sort of pop, Indiana Jones or a Smurf or any figure out there. They have the big eyes.
We're adults and we're not usually in the stores that you're in.
No.
I know what you're talking about.
No, and every store there's
I didn't
a
realize
Funko
that's
Pop.
called a Funko Pop.
Yes, it's called a Funko Pop. So there's a company called
Funko or Fungo?
Funko. It's like
Funko.
like funk, like
Like
the
a
funk.
fun
Or
company
Fun Co. Yeah.
pop.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. And Funko, like, it's an old company and it would manufacture toys and stuff like that. And then they just got really big. And now, I mean, people collect walls and walls of these collectibles. It could be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or whatever. And
I have a Hello Kitty Dodger one.
there you go. That's
what I
I'm
got the
talking
Dodger
about.
game, was
And
the
that's
Hello
called a Funko, the name of the company, Pop. And it's for pop collectibles, pop culture, that kind of stuff, right? So there is another. Now, those are all the same, basically. They're just, the big-eyed dolls and stuff. And what Kid Robot has done is they have a thing called a dunny. And I'm going to guess that you saw it, but you never really made the connection. And what they are is that they look like rabbits, basically. And then all kinds of different artists paint this. So you might have like a whole collection that's the same outline of like a rabbit. Imagine a blank vinyl figure, just all one color with rabbit ears. And they have, arms and legs. And they're all one color. But then they'll say, and they sell it. They just used to sell them blank like that. And you could do your own artwork. But now they have like very famous artists do a limited amount of work.
Okay.
So you might have like I invested in like these Mexican artists. They did a whole bunch of them and like with Mexican art, and I really liked them. So I bought like 3 out of the 10 that they had. Right?
Okay.
And or they'll do a monster thing or whatever. Anyway, they just and by the way, they're very, very popular. So they will be,
With 14-year-olds.
No. I'm talking like I remember watching
Asians?
some movie with Seth Rogen in it, right? And they use them. I mean, they're very. They will have them life size, and then like maybe going as big as going up to your waist, and people will display them in their house, and it's like an in thing. I can't believe you guys don't know this.
I can't believe you're rambling on and on about this.
I know.
Keep going.
Well, I had to explain it to the non-cultured. That's all.
Non-cultured.
Now-
Sounds like action figures from the Masked Singer show on TV.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably like that, right? So they have come out
Thank you
now.
for summing up in 2 seconds when
There
you
you
couldn't
go.
in 4 minutes.
I'm here
They
for
are
you.
coming out with.
They're coming out with a Coca-Cola one, and I bought it, and I cannot wait
So
for it to be
basically
here.
it's a rabbit with
Yeah.
Coca-Cola on it.
Yeah. I'll show it. Maybe if I show it to you. You
No,
know
it's
what I'm
okay.
talking
So
So
about.
if this was a YouTube channel, you could see what Bill's putting up on his
Right.
phone, but then you'd have to look at
Have you
my
ever
3
seen
least
that
attractive
shape?
friends.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the same shape with different artwork on it. Right?
You actually have a few in your house.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Some of them upstairs right now. But yeah, exactly.
When you die, who gets all your figurines?
I read this thing. Nobody wants your stuff.
No, they don't.
Oh, they
My
don't.
kids will probably not want it.
There's going to be a garage sale. Some collector's going to come along and go, I'll give you $10 for everything. All right.
Look, we are looking at on my windowsill right now 6 space penguins. It's like if a piece of artwork speaks to me, I buy it.
Not artwork, figurine.
Yeah, they're
How come those
figurines.
space penguins feel like a short joke at me?
It's really meant for you. I should have put them all around your chair.
If
there.
it can go on a shelf or be glued on your dash, you're into it.
Oh yeah, and my girlfriend loves them too, so she would get all of them if I were to die, and she would be ecstatic about it. Ecstatic. So, all right, James, what are you into?
Please make it better than that.
Oh, I don't know. That's such a high bar. I don't know
It's
if
so
I can
hard to
get-
follow.
I don't know if I can follow that. It just came out last week, and I have not had a chance to watch it yet because I'm trying to finish the show that I'm on. But I'm really uber excited to start watching the new Shogun.
Oh, I've heard about it. It hears
Oh,
very
yeah.
good.
I'm recording it. Haven't seen any of it.
Me neither. I am dying to see it because I saw the original back in '80 with Richard Chamberlain. Really good.
Yes.
And the couple reviews I've seen of the new one coming out say it is amazing.
Here's the difference from what I hear. I haven't seen it either. It's less soap opera-ish, like with Richard Chamberlain, because it was more of a soap opera
Well, yeah, it was
kind of
the
thing.
80s.
Right.
And it's Richard Chamberlain.
Right. That aside, they say Richard Chamberlain, the character, was a little bit better, but the action scenes and everything else are far better than the original.
Oh,
Yeah.
they have to be.
And the costume design is off the charts from what I've heard.
I
So
remember
am
Richard Chamberlain
really-
getting peed on in the first version.
Okay, I'm
That
totally
was not
watching
the public
this
television one.
That was the public television.
Wait a
one.
minute, he really did get peed on?
Yeah, because he had to show how submissive he was because he was the shipwrecked captain.
Did you never watch the original Shogun?
I never did, but my girlfriend's totally in tune to this and wants
That's
to
why
watch
she
it.
wants to pee on you.
Yeah, exactly. So I just didn't know what I was getting myself into.
I can't wait. I have one other show in front of it that I need to watch, but it's only a 4-parter, so I'm going to slam that out, and then it is Shogun next week, big time.
So, how many minutes into the original does he get peed on?
That's all you want
I'm
to see.
sure you can just YouTube that section
Okay,
nowadays.
I'll YouTube it and then we'll get to it.
Yeah.
All right, gotcha. All right. What about you, Art?
Well, I was listening to this story on a current events podcast, and there's this guy who thinks he's so much more important and so much valuable to the world than any of you. And the story is about how he lost his cell phone.
He lost his cell phone.
He lost his cell
Did he
phone.
really?
He did.
That happens quite often.
He did, yeah. Now, I really thought I'd get a different response from you because the reason why I love this story and why I can relate to it is because someone else that I know lost his cell phone, or at least used it as an
Allegedly.
excuse to not come to his friend's aid when that friend was doing his first ultra marathon.
My friend had AIDS. That's why I didn't show up.
What happened, Mark? Did
He
you
allegedly lost his phone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No. I'm my particular position. I need to actually respond to certain calls. So
Just
I had
not
to
my
respond
call.
to a call, and when I went to go respond to this call, my phone was left in a location that I could not find when I left the location or call you.
And
And what was that location, Mark?
I can't tell you because it's actually secret in Sacramento. To be honest,
How many other times have you ever lost your phone besides that
me,
once?
I've 2 times in my life I've lost my phone.
and
My
aren't you in
family-
charge of like the disaster section of technology? for
Yeah,
your
but I have
company?
backups with that.
And
There's
you
no
couldn't
backup
reach
to my
out to
phone.
me with the backup.
I didn't know your phone number at the time to call you.
That's fantastic. And you don't have like Find My Phone app. None of the things
How
because
would I
that-
have Find My Phone app when my phone's not found?
because if you're the guy in charge of backup plans, you would do that.
But I don't have a backup to my own phone.
What's interesting is that I started this with a guy who thought he was really more important than the rest of us, and you automatically went to it's you. But the truth is,
So what happened to the guy who lost his phone other than me?
oh, other than you. So that's right. This is a tale of absolute power corrupts. This rich guy in the India government dropped his phone in a lake in India. And so he had the Coast Guard send their best divers away from the Indian Ocean all the way to the lake to go diving for the phone.
Wow.
They didn't find it. And so he had the government rent 3 diesel generators and pump 15,000 acre feet out of this lake to find his phone.
Did they find it?
And it didn't work.
The phone didn't work.
The phone didn't work.
Well, of course it's not going to work.
What is he, an idiot?
There's only a certain depth it's going to go to.
Yeah, but he pumped 15,000 acre feet, which feeds 2 households per acre foot in America. I don't know what it is in India. It's probably more. So that's 30,000 households that are potentially without water. In the summer, it's hot in the summer. Water's a commodity.
Because the guy wanted his phone.
Because this guy thinks he's more important than all of us, and he needed to get his phone that didn't work.
And see, I just ignored that whole situation and thought, oh, that sucks. I ddidn't make it to my friend. But I didn't pump 15,000 acres of water away to try and find
No, you didn't.
my phone.
But I was standing on the No Hands Bridge, which was over water. But it made me want to shogun you and pee on you. I was so upset.
I can totally relate.
We can do that later.
If I lost my phone, I need to get to my fantasy football lineup. Pump that fucking lake.
Yeah.
I need my phone. My fantasy lineup's
I
on
have
it.
a backup for that situation.
Do you know that my entire family has lost their phone a number of times?
Is that right?
Yeah. I think I'm the lowest of losing my phone.
Have you ever lost your
Or
phone?
breaking their
I've
phone.
never lost my phone.
Have you ever lost your phone?
Nobody in my family has ever lost their phone.
No.
Wow, my family literally has broken or lost their phone probably 2 to 3 times a person.
What is going on in the Montgomery
I have
household?
no idea, dude.
Obviously, there's no sense of pride or responsibility going on in the Montgomery home.
Or value in data.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask.
They're obviously not paying for those phones because they might protect them a little more.
Now, I'm not an Apple snob, but I'm kind of an Apple snob.
You are an Apple fanboy.
I am a fanboy of Apple, yes. So, does anybody in your family have Androids?
Mine was an Android that I
Yeah,
lost.
you were
Yeah.
the dummy.
Yeah, you went to Apple. Thank you.
That's,
love it.
I went to Apple after I lost the phone. So there you
Right.
go.
So, what about your family, Art? Do they
They're all Apple users.
all Apple? Is what about your family, Mark? Are they Apple?
Yeah,
users?
all Apple.
James,
Karen
Apple.
and I are both.
Okay.
Yes, all the girls are Apple.
Okay,
But
same
we
with my
still have
family.
one friend who's not.
Yeah, and he did have Apple. He
It's two.
switched to Android.
Okay, 3.
Yeah. But Apple this year is upping their game, and they're going to make it a little easier for everybody to talk. So I'm very excited about that.
It's not difficult to talk with an Android. You just don't see the colors.
Yeah, so it's a prejudice thing, Mark. That's really what it's about.
It's all about that.
It's blue versus green.
We don't want to see the green. We want to see the blue. No green.
It was more you couldn't name the groups and stuff when you had an Android user.
And really, that is the most fun part of this whole Apple texting thing. I mean, last name's Green. I get engaged, and my now wife starts a group chat with my daughters and their significant others, and she's, oh, I'm going to name it Gangrene.
That's pretty
It's always
funny.
fun when you have a cool name like
Yeah,
that.
and then she starts another group chat with the two of us and my sister and her husband, and it's called Bills and Sills. Brother-in-law and sister-in-laws.
Oh, wow. That's so crazy.
She's very creative.
Yeah. She has another one with all the women on her side of the family, and it's called The Wall of DNA. And it just goes on and on and on.
That is disturbing to me, and I don't want to go into it. Yeah. No black lights on that text.
That's pretty good, actually.
The wall of DNA. Yeah. That's like the wall of sound, right? That was Phil Ramone had, but it's DNA.
No, it's more like a dive motel you don't want to sleep in.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so there we go. We got the pleasantries out. We got a little Art Green in the house here, and we're
Another short joke. Look at that.
It's early. It's early.
Yeah, it's very early. And the great thing is that we did put him on a big stool, big boy stool, so that he would have some height.
We're actually looking up to him.
Art.
That's an intellectual
I've
joke.
neso asked you this question. How tall are you right now?
I'm 5.5 feet tall.
5.5 feet
Sitting
tall.
on the stool, I'm probably still 5.5 feet.
Okay, so you're 5'5", right?
No,
5'6".
You're
5'6".
5'6". Okay.
You do
So
accounting,
5'6".
right?
There's 12 inches
Right.
in a foot.
So
That Mount Shasta education coming in strong.
so
He graduated with a 2.0 GPA?
So here's the thing. The other night we were all at a bar, and there's this woman that came up and shook all of our hands, and I say to her, "Hey, can you give this guy, meaning Art, our 5'6" friend, The reason I said 5'5" is I feel like you're lying to me. It's probably really 5'5". Anyway, I said, could you please give Art a good...
Pat on the fanny?
No. I want you to tell his fortune. And she's like, okay. And so she calls him over, and the first thing she says to him is, "You're 5'2", right?"
She does.
This was after I left.
Yeah. No. You weren't around.
You shook her hand, though, later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she did come over. That's true.
She looked Fruit Loops, doesn't she?
She looked way Fruit Loops.
With no milk in that bowl.
Yeah,
she was.
No, she looked like she was straight out of HR Puffin stuff. There's no doubt about it.
She was wearing a knit hat, and she used to be a former helicopter pilot, is what she told us.
There were birds nesting in her hair.
Yeah.
She just looks at you and go, I got nothing.
Yeah.
She could not tell my fortune.
Yeah. I could have told your
Dude,
fortune.
I could tell anybody's fortune. I could blow smoke up anybody's skirt.
I cannot wait for that. That's going to be amazing. Because we're going to hear our fortunes right after this.
Here we go now.
Got an idea for a topic? Who knows? We may reach out and use your suggestion on air. Let us know and visit damnopinion.com.
And we are back. And this is such a treat for us to have Mr. Art Green here with us.
Is it really?
No, it's not really.
It's not really.
Yeah.
It is culturally significant.
What's interesting...
Think of the new wide-ranging audience we're getting on this podcast.
Oh, yeah. He's got to at least have his mom listening, right?
Yep. He's
maybe
got Clowns of America that will endorse us.
His wife.
Yeah. His wife.
And now we have men over 50 and under 5.5 feet tall. Now you're killing that demographic.
That's a serious demographic.
Since you're from Vegas, I'm assuming we're going to get the Showgirls Union.
Showgirls,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The mafia. Are we getting the mafia? Or are they?
We don't want the mafia.
There's no mafia there anymore.
Yeah, we don't want the mafia.
We don't need mafia. We have the corporations.
Have you ever run into mafia there in Sin City?
I'm not allowed to tell you.
Okay. You know I have.
They say there's so many bodies out in the desert that no one knows about.
Well, I run through the desert all the time, and there's still a few holes left, so you better mind your P's and Q's.
Look at that.
So anyway, we've got our celebrity host, Art Green, right here. He's actually wearing green, which disturbs me. I think that's his calling card. Well, that's not green. What color is it?
It's blue.
That is not blue.
It's two different
Your
shades
pants
of
are
blue.
blue.
It's a dark blue with a light blue dot.
What
Okay,
are you talking
so now,
about?
okay.
The lighting in here, because when he got in the truck when I picked him up, it was not green.
Okay, so we do have weird lighting in here. So that is true. And then also, men can be a little colorblind, right? Seriously, between green and blue, that is a weird thing that men have. So maybe some of us...
It looks like green.
It looks like green to me. But again, we have these weird lights in here. It's like flashing...
It's a
strobe
discotheque
light
in here.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, all right, so we're going to turn over the topic of today to our celebrity guest host, Mr. Art Green. Everybody,
Cool. Well, I had this idea a while ago, but I didn't feed it to any of you. I was going to pretend that I was a bazillionaire. I was going to give each of you money and have you find a way to spend it. But then I heard a story last week about somebody who got in early investing in Berkshire Hathaway. Not one of the founders that just kicked the bucket recently, but someone who died late last year. And he made enough money just through Berkshire Hathaway that he was able to have his wife set for life. And so in his will, it said, here's all the money you need so you can live happily for the rest of your life. And you have to figure out what to do with this $1 billion. And so today I have $3 billion. Oh, and I need to say, she figured out what to do with it. She invested that $1 billion into the Albert Einstein School of Medicine in one of the poorer boroughs in New York City. And as a result, nobody that goes to that medical school is ever going to have to pay a dime for their education.
Is poorer boroughs related to Joe Burrow?
Yeah, but it's like the USFL.
Okay.
Right? Not the NFL. It's like the junior league.
All right.
I can't believe that the Albert Einstein School of what?
Medicine.
Medicine
Yeah. You think
is
it'd
in
be
a poor borough.
astrophysicists.
Yeah, you would think astrophysicists for sure.
Yeah,
That is
and
weird.
So, I mean, she put so much money into it that they offered actually to name the school after her. And she said, no, Albert Einstein has kind of done a little bit more than that.
That's so nice and humble. Seriously, though.
I would just like a 15-foot gold statue out front.
Yeah.
Of my husband, but with Albert Einstein's hair.
Yeah.
And then we're going to make a miniature of it, and we're going to put it on Bill's windowsill.
With a funk pop.
Oh, why not? A Funko Pop. I can't believe you don't know the name. This is really heartbreaking to me, guys.
It should be.
It really
Dude,
is.
you're a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
in an old
But
man's
this
body.
is one of the most biggest brands. This is a big brand. Seriously.
You're going to argue this forever.
Yeah. Okay.
Biggest
Whatever.
brand we've ever heard of.
Yeah, I guess so. That's weird.
Is it bigger than Oscar Mayer? There you go. Okay, continue.
All right, go ahead, Art.
All right. So I'm going to pass out $3 billion right now. And we have to make the world a better place with it. And each of you have a different objective with your $1 billion. Mark, I need you to do something similar to what that woman did with the Albert Einstein School of Medicine.
Okay.
You need to invest your $1 billion at a particular college, at a particular university that's going to make the world a better place.
Okay.
James, because you love human beings, you need to take your $1 billion and invest it in something philanthropic.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying you have to.
He's going to wipe the planet of dirty hippies.
Yeah, well, that could be. I mean, it could be you're going to, help people with hemorrhoids or whatever it is. Or it could be you're going to dump all this money into a particular needy cause, whatever it is.
Help anybody who's 5'6".
Actually, I
Yeah.
hear there's a bunch
Platform shoes.
There's a bunch of people over in India who have no water.
Yeah, that is true.
But there is a giant hemorrhoid situation here. Even
Mark
right
is
here
sitting
in
on
this
it
room.
right now.
Just kidding.
Okay, and then Bill?
Bill has to invest it so that we can do it again in
We're
just
screwed.
2 years.
Yeah.
But there are rules, Bill.
Funko Pop, Funko Pop, Funko Pop.
Oh, yeah.
Legos.
We're going to do some Legos and Funko Pop.
Yeah, but Bill, there are rules. And you actually have special rules because I know what you do for a living. So the initial rule was going to be you can't say mutual funds.
Right.
Because,
of course.
well, first of all, we can't double our money in 2 years.
That's true, too.
All right. But I also understand for employment reasons, you're not allowed to make even funny claims of a stock suggestion.
Correct.
So, but you still have to invest this $1 billion
All right.
into something, some way, shape, or form that it will double in 2 years.
Okay.
22 black.
Yeah, I was thinking, can we switch? Because I got a great idea.
Oh,
for
yeah.
that.
Yeah. So let me give you an idea. Let me give you an idea. So we were just talking about this the other night. I am what we are calling a Jack vegan.
Oh,
So
that's
I'm-
right.
So I'm taking
Oh,
out.
you're a Jack something, all right.
Yeah. So I'm taking out all meat and dairy from my diet, unless I'm in a situation where it's not possible or I'm going to make somebody uncomfortable. So you don't have to make me a special dinner when you invite me over to your house for dinner, which the three of you have never done, by the way. So,
It's because you're a Jack vegan.
but what I've learned,
I just bought you dinner tonight.
yes, that's true. But not at your house.
That's true.
That's
Not at
true.
your house.
You didn't invite him over for dinner, James.
That's true.
But what I have learned is that flatulence is a thing when all you do is eat vegetables.
Just like Hitler.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Okay. I've
Hitler
not
was
eaten
a
a Hitler.
vegetarian and was known for his flatulence.
Was he really?
Yes, yes. I'm
Everybody knows
surprised.
this.
You, the historian of the group, doesn't know this. Okay.
I wonder if that hand signal had something to do with it.
Yeah. Every time he held it up, it's like a two. Okay.
Yeah, so I am sure that veganism is going to catch on, which means flatulence is going to be a public nuisance.
Great. There goes warming of the planet again. Keep going.
No, because I am going to invest in a company that has charcoal filtered drawers.
They actually have that.
Yeah, but
Do
they're
you
not
know they have
perfected.
underwear?
Yes,
Okay.
I know that, but obviously it hasn't caught on because they must not be a good product.
How do I know that, by the way?
I would,
Of course
I
you know
would
that.
find a company and invest in it until they have it perfected, because it's going to take $1 billion to perfect it and get it to market. That is going to make the world a better smelling place, especially outside Mexican restaurants.
And does anybody know the name of the company that it's going to be?
Tell me.
I don't know. I figured you'd have something in your head.
Green beef. I have no idea.
The Arty Farty Party?
There
I don't
you
know.
So that's my idea, boys.
Okay,
Let's
so
make the world
so
a
Mark,
better place. $1
Oh, am I
billion
going
at a time.
first?
You're
Yeah.
going first.
Yeah, you going first, Mark.
If I took the $1 billion and built an Oppenheimer School of Medicine right next to the Albert Einstein one, would it conflict?
They would absolutely conflict.
Okay, then I can't do that. Literally, I'm only giving this college credit because they actually do a really good job of teaching history that they don't teach anymore, and everybody should know it. And I'm not necessarily a fan of this college. I know they're very individualistic with their college design. And have you guys heard of Hillsdale College?
It sounds familiar.
It's a private college that actually is funded by people who attend and by philanthropists that donate money to the college. And what they do is they focus on American history and world history without being a bias. And so they'll just keep teaching all these facts from a historical perspective, and they teach everything else too, music and English and math and science and all that. But they really focus on the history because they believe that history impacts what people do in the future, and we learn from the past. And I thought to myself, that's a great way to actually proceed through life. If you go back and look in the past, you won't lose your phone again a second time if you do it right the first time.
There's a good chance that's correct.
So
we don't learn anything.
So I would invest $1 billion at that college to actually have people attend, possibly even for 6 months for free, if not the entire 4 years, because they'll get a better education instead of a lot of these biased things that are going on within our colleges today.
So what are you expecting to happen from these people that get a free education in unbiased history?
There'd be more pride in where they're at instead of believing that, there's a lot of other countries that are much better than America. I'm not saying America's the greatest, but what I'm saying is we actually say we hate our country because we do this, this, and this. But there's so many other countries that are worse off than we are. Now, there's a few I would say, hey, maybe Norway, Sweden, Denmark are better, but they're also much smaller. And they have a much less demographic population than we do in America. And I think people need to take pride, because once you take pride in something, you help to lift it up. And if you don't take pride in where you're at, how is that ever going to grow and become better?
That's some deep stuff there.
So Hillsdale would be the one I invest in.
Hillsdale. Where is Hillsdale?
Somewhere in the Midwest up north. Somewhere Midwest up north area.
North
I forget
Dakota?
exactly where it is. No, I have to go look it up.
Midwest up north.
It's in Hillsdale.
All right.
This is the vague
Is
thing.
the Hillsdale
Basically
Community
has
College?
no idea where it
He
is.
totally
I did
just
it one
that up.
time. I did it one time, but it's like,
Does this school even exist?
yeah, it does. It's actually a good school.
Yeah.
There you go.
See, I'm working harder on this podcast. than
We're
you guys
probably
are.
going to get $1 billion.
You can
just
from this college get a free pamphlet. They send out every month. It's called Imprimus, and Imprimus is
I
actually
love Primus.
Imprimus is actually a newsletter they released, and they talk about a lot of really interesting facts in this newsletter. More than just, hey, we're great. They talk about stuff that people should really understand.
Do you get that newsletter?
I do. Yeah.
Give me an example. Your
That
bowl.
wasn't very convincing.
Wait. What's that I smell?
I do.
What's that I smell? It's not my flatulence.
No.
I get the
it's you
pamphlet
trying
all
to
the time, but I have no idea where they're from.
No. Here's a great example. They talk about how America has been involved in helping the world in different crises for a long time, since we've been around, actually. And they categorize it in the effect that everyone's focused on the Gaza Israel war, obviously, that's going on, or the terrorism act, or whatever you want to call it.
I think it's technically a conflict.
Okay. But how America has done relations with different people in the past, and how that relates, and how you can't just make a simple decision, because those simple decisions sometimes have impacts worldwide.
It's called money.
So, James, I gave my answer. What would you do?
Okay, so you know me. As much as I would like to take my $1 billion and send every hippie and politician on a one-way trip to space and call it philanthropy,
Oh, yeah.
or take my $1 billion and build the world's largest D&D theme park.
Wait,
That would help humankind.
You'd have to roll just to get in.
You'd have to roll to get in.
Roll. You're not
Persuasion
allowed.
check. Can you get past?
I can make a stretch and say sending the hippies and the politicians to space is good for the world. How is a D&D theme park good for the world?
It's my own personal good for the world.
Okay.
It's not
It
good
makes
for everybody,
James better for the rest of the world.
but it makes a lot of nerds out there happy. But I wouldn't do that. And you know how much I hate people, right?
You do.
So my 1 billion is not going to any adult. Okay? My 1 billion would fund children. I would start with education. I would invest in improving access to their quality education, including building schools, providing scholarships, and enhancing teacher training programs, because education in this country is hideous.
Kids will hate you.
It's hideous. We do not, in this country, put nearly enough towards education that we should. We put it to dumb stuff in this country. The second thing I would do is I would do nutrition and food security. if there are so many school programs out there where kids don't have food, they're starving, and it's not their fault. Maybe their parents are terrible. Maybe they're divorced. Maybe they don't have a good job. Whatever the situation, the children suffer. And so I would help combat childhood hunger and malnutrition by funding programs that provide nutritious meals, promote breastfeeding.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's my top number one.
That's a big deal for all of
And
us.
training for it.
And support agricultural initiatives in communities.
Do these school lunches go all the way through high school? Because I'm all in at that
Yeah,
point.
it's breastfeeding all the way through.
I want to get my doctorate.
Okay?
My doctorate.
I would build gigantic playgrounds in every neighborhood if I could, into my $1 billion, so kids can get outside and play. Because our culture today has scared people so much that when we were younger, we left and said, come home at dark.
No,
right?
no. Our parents hated us. They told us to get out.
That's probably true. They're probably
home
drinking.
when the
They were
streetlights
drinking,
come on.
smoking, and playing poker. They were like, get out.
Yep.
Get kids out, exercising, out socializing with other people. So that's how I would spend my $1 billion is on kids.
Wow.
You
That's
need-
a little deeper than my idea.
You need $1 trillion to do that, but it's a good,
yeah,
good
a
plan.
billion.
Well-
$1 billion would take care of Sacramento County.
My $1 billion's going to get us the first year. Bill's investment is going to get us the remainder of the year.
And this is true, guys. This is absolutely true. And what I hate about this is that I'm an idea guy. I'm an idea guy, and I know how to double
If you
the
can
billion
remember it.
over and over and over again. And it's like, unfortunately, with this idea that I have for the investing to double it, somebody's going to steal it. I don't have the funds. I don't have the capital. We don't have it here.
So what you're about to say is so empowering that someone's going to become a billionaire.
Oh yeah, more so. More
Elon
so.
Musk is going to steal this
it's gonna be-
tomorrow.
He pretty much is. If this was on, what is that show called? The Sharks.
Shark Tank.
Shark Tank. Oh, they would be throwing money at me for this. Okay. So what I would do is I would invest in of course, in just a whole bunch of chains of restaurants, right? Just like a Starbucks, except for this is going to be called the Innuendo Cafe, right? So on the menu, you're going to have incredible meals like hot buns, right? You're going to have like sloppy seconds. Stuff like that, like maybe a hot gobbler, which would be like a roast turkey sandwich, right? You're gonna have, maybe a filthy Sanchez, which is like some nachos.
For dessert,
all
you can always
eat.
have a cream pie.
Cream pie, right? A black cherry bend over, something like that.
It'd be a hair pie and it's
know.
got toasted coconut on it.
Absolutely, right?
I'd like a side of reach around.
Tube steaks, chimichangas, all those melons, pork sandwiches, right? I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on. Everyone will be lining up.
There's
to,
table side salad
Will
tossing.
they?
Yeah.
Will they?
Oh yeah, to toss the salad, absolutely. And and then spotted dick. Don't forget that. That would just be spotted dick.
And for
Yeah,
those
that's
people
all.
who are upper crust, the teabagging is all over the
Oh,
place.
absolutely. Absolutely. That's what would go, right? So I believe that and that alone will make, and that could fund all of your kids.
That
right
would
there.
totally fund all the kids.
I don't want between the breastfeeding and all of that. That's not good education right there.
Come on, kids. We're going to have reach around for dinner.
Yeah, we're going to have some fish tacos and bologna pony. There we are. There you go. So,
Slanted clam chowder.
yeah, for sure.
They ask when this podcast is posted, is there any obscenity in this podcast? I just ignore
there's
it.
none.
I think I have to check the box this time.
No,
It's the
there's no
Innuendo
obscenities here.
Cafe. Everything is a double entendre, which is the dessert as well.
And think about it. Our expansion, the other half of the building could be the hypothetical cafe.
That's right.
It's all vegan fake meat.
Yeah. Hypothetically.
That's right. It's none of it is what you think it is.
Wow.
Wow.
This looks like eggs. Yeah, but someone threw up on
That-
that plate last night.
That is a very big moneymaker.
Everybody's going to make money off my ideas, and I just give them. Like it's my charity to the world, is basically what it is.
How prosperous and kind of you.
Yeah. It's like just somebody I hope takes it, Because
It's all about location. You have to put that next to the playgrounds for all the creeps to go to, right? Next to all the strip clubs, right next to all the
Smoke shops?
smoke shops,
Absolutely.
right? Because they're all going to want to eat those innuendos up.
You know,
Okay.
it's a good thing you and I are education because no one's going to know how to spell that. I need to go to that Inye Cafe. What is that again? What's that word? How do you spell
Outie.
that?
Yeah.
So we've all spent our billion. Do you have a billion to spend? It's only the 3.
Oh, yeah, I spent it 3 times already. So I am going to remove all the earthen dams as part of my philanthropic effort
Okay.
because they're not generating power. They're causing all sorts of water problems through all of our tributaries, including not letting salmon spawn, which is leading to a severe lack of salmon in the Pacific Ocean.
Do you know
Do you realize he lives in a city that is powered by the biggest dam
It is not an
in
earthen
America? Okay.
And it's power generating.
Do you know how many beavers you're going to piss off? Think about that.
Can we have,
Wait, is that an
can I have some beaver
Cafe?
soup at the Innuendo Cafe?
Exactly. Have some bearded clam with us.
Yeah. And of course, the charcoal filtered underwear.
Right.
All right. And to check Mark's box, no innuendo there. I was also going to go education. I was going to throw $1 billion at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Only
Your alma mater.
my alma mater, but also only for the education department, because our education system in Nevada ranks near the bottom in every single category. And if we can get everybody from across the nation to come and get a free education in exchange for 1 year of service in Clark County where you get paid, all of a sudden we're going to go from being a bottom feeder to being that place where we're going to send all of our students to the Albert Einstein School of Medicine or the Hillsborough College of Historical Accuracy.
That we have no idea where it is.
Hillsdale, which is just outside of Healdsburg.
Exactly.
It's near an Innuendo Cafe somewhere.
Yeah. There's one that you pass it on the way.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Excellent.
located in Hillsdale, Michigan. Everybody.
There you go.
Michigan.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
is right near the
That
Wolverines.
is northern Midwest. Is it the thumb or is it the mitten?
Oh, who knows? You really want to know?
It's a Michigan question.
That's a big time innuendo right
Yeah.
there.
Wouldn't it be like the UP, the Upper
Yes.
Peninsula? That's what they
The
call
peninsula. Yes, the thumb.
it. It is just kind of at the bottom of the state.
At the bottom state. So it's got to be the mitten.
Yeah, it's very close to Ohio and Indiana. And I can't believe I had to Google that. And this is his big thing.
That he
I
gets
was
pamphlets.
accurate. I said it's like in the Midwest,
You did.
northern side.
For once, your bullshit came through.
There you go.
Amazing.
It was a total blind guess. He has no idea.
Yeah, we were really sniffing hard there and it smelled bad
Oh
from
my
here.
gosh. Use some of that charcoal underwear.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to be back with our big, bold, and bald and short opinion.
We need to go with the artistic opinion, not the short opinion.
Oh, it's
I'm
short.
in the tallest seat.
Can you let us know when there's an artist here, please?
Yeah, exactly.
Right here.
And we'll be back with those opinions right after this.
It's time for the big, the bold, and the bald to give their opinion on today's topic. Damnopinion.com.
Okay, and we're back with our big, bold, bald, and short opinions. But of course, we're going to start it off with our guest of honor, Mr. Art Green.
The short.
Yeah, so I'm really pissed off about politics. I mean, America's political parties are just a bunch of crap. You know, nobody approves of Biden. Everybody hates Trump. But that's not what makes me mad. Saturday Night Live has not devoted enough of their time yet to our electoral process. Every 4 years, they do something great. This year, I'm horribly disappointed because they have come up short.
Amazing. And of
you
course,
got that word in there.
Mark's big opinion.
The big.
Look, I'm going to make it really simple. If you give me $1 billion, I'm going to Vegas and putting it all on black. That's it. That's my doubling. It's going to happen.
That's the way to do it. And of course, James's bold opinion.
The bold.
You don't need $1 billion to be philanthropic. Help out, just like we help old Bill every single day.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And then, of course, my bald opinion.
The bald.
It's very easy. Just invest all your money into Kid Robot and buy the Dunnies.
Oh,
and
jeez.
that's exactly where you make all your money, is in vinyl toys. Artistic toys.
Funko Pop.
That should be a bad term. You Funko Pop.
Hey, before we fade into the music here, I do need to fix one thing on this podcast. You guys never give any of your supporting cast credit. So I'm going to solve that today.
Okay. So you're going to give us the credits then.
You guys are getting no credit.
Okay.
The people behind the scenes are getting the credit.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, there is a large team behind the scene.
That is
There
true.
is.
Yes.
All right. For instance, the studio manager is Alicia.
True.
Okay.
All right. Fact checking is performed by Karen. Lisa is the booking agent. All right.
There you go.
Hair and makeup is, well, let's just say the need is great and the position is open.
Thank you very much, Art. It was great having you, and we'll be back next week on Damn Opinion.
Tune in for our next podcast when you'll hear the big, the bold, and the bald.
Oh, that was fun.
Give their opinions on everything.
I knew you guys would like that one.
That was a good one.
Damn opinion.
And it was great.